the aesthetic body gave me the secret cheat code to instantly get people to treat me way better. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I did it. Now, if you don't know me already, my name's Alfie. And before I built the aesthetic physique, bro, it felt like my social life was on hard mode. Everyone treated me as a loser. And they should have, because I would go home from school. Literally, this was an average day about like 3 years ago. I would come home from school, not even take my school uniform off, immediately turn on my games console, which I think at the time was a PlayStation, or it might have been an Xbox, and start playing. And maybe like an hour or two later, that's when I would actually take off my school uniform and wear like my pajamas and stuff, go down to eat, come back up, play video games. And by the way, whilst I would eat, I would watch YouTube on the video game that I was playing on how to get better. I was a total addict, and I was also a total loser. And so obviously people treated me as a loser. But then I discovered a random video one day titled "How to Build an Aesthetic Body" from a YouTuber named Hamza. And I think a lot of people have seen that, but if you don't, Hamza's basically like this big self-improvement YouTuber who, like, he's changed lives and stuff. He helped me out a lot, and he taught me how to build an aesthetic body. And so I followed what he said, and over time it actually worked, and the benefits that he said it would get actually came. People started treating me way better. Men started respecting me a lot more. And truthfully, if we're going to be honest, the reason why you clicked on this video is because girls were more attracted to me. Girls treated me better as well. And even though that can sound cringe, I think that's an important part of a man's life. Because if you're a heterosexual man, you want women to like you. You want women to be attracted to you. And to not have that is so painful, bro. It's actually so painful. And you know what's like, speaking to people now isn't actually a hard task. It's almost like people put it on easy mode. It's literally like on easy mode, I literally just say words and people laugh and people like me. It's like, and I'm certain it's because I became more attractive, and the biggest lever, the biggest thing to make me, that I think made me more attractive, was building this aesthetic physique. So the plan of this video is I'm going to show you what I did and the muscles I trained to build this aesthetic physique, and hopefully you can start training them too, to get the many benefits that me and everyone else who has built this aesthetic body experienced. Now you see, bro, the truth is people judge you off your looks. Say that with me. People judge you off of your looks, and your first impressions, how you think about people, is based off of how you look. When you clicked on this video, you got a first impression of me because of how I looked. When you go outside, when you go into public, everyone judges you based off of your look, and you judge everyone based off their look. And it annoys me when there's these like losers, like basically just fat people, you know, those people, and like skinny people, you know, those losers who call people fat phobic, you know, the kind of groups I'm talking about. Like, they'll be sat there trying to tell us, oh no, don't worry, no one really cares about your looks, it's more important, like personality is more important. The truth is, yeah, personality helps. It's almost like a boost. But honestly, in my experience, the main thing that I've seen which has made people treat me better or worse is fully just based on how I look and how I present myself. If I present myself as a confident person, well, people will likely treat me better, in my experience. If I portray myself as a loser, naturally I'm going to be treated as a loser. That makes sense. When I built this aesthetic physique, immediately it felt like I was put into the winners category, into like the confident it sounds cringe, the confident Chad, like alpha. I'm not saying I'm an alpha male or anything. I am, but I'm not saying I am. Nah. But it's almost like people started putting me into like a good category of someone who's cool, of someone who's confident, of someone people want to either be around or someone who people want to be. That's just, in my experience, how it feels. And so if you're fat or you're skinny, I'm just going to tell you how I think. If I look at someone who's out of shape, I immediately just lose respect for them, because it's like, how can I, like, if you are in shape, immediately I gain some respect because we as guys kind of know what it takes to actually build something like that, and we know they've probably put time into the gym, even if, like, by the way, pro tip, if any like loser or like someone who's not interested in the gym asks you how often you go to the gym, it's kind of like lying, but just don't tell them like, oh yeah, so I go 6 days a week on a push pull leg split. Don't do that because you look like a nerd. Just say something like, yeah, I do some push-ups. That's like a pro tip which made me seem cooler in public. But obviously to you, I'll tell you because this is an educational like channel, and I'm gonna teach you what it takes. Do you know what I mean? So anyone, like I say, any loser who says like, oh, people, personality, blah blah blah, it's like, it's true, but honestly, the biggest lever on like first impressions and how people treat you in general is just going to be based on how you look, and then it'll be on how you present yourself afterwards, because you can look good, but if your personality is wacky, yeah, it'll mess up. But interestingly enough as well, in my opinion, building this aesthetic body improved my personality a lot more because I gained more discipline. I had to learn more social skills because I was around people a lot more, and it taught me like cold approach and stuff, just like a bunch of stuff, right? By the way, if you don't know what cold approach is, it's basically going up to a person you haven't spoke to before, usually a woman if you're a guy, and like just saying words, and I've gotten pretty decent at that skill. So one thing I learned when I was building this aesthetic body is that you get something called the halo effect. Now the halo effect is basically what we can think of as pretty privilege, if you've ever heard that phrase before, and if you haven't, it's fine. Basically it means that attractive people will be treated better than unattractive people simply because they are more attractive. It's literally as simple as that. Like, the analogy I always use is like, imagine imagine Chad, and then like, well, I'm gonna copy Hamza here. Imagine like a Chad guy, like Giga Chad, and we'll name him Adonis, and then imagine like this Wojak loser figure. It's like just completely out of shape and a loser, and we'll call him Jeffrey. Adonis is attractive, Jeffrey's really ugly. If Adonis says a joke that's not actually that funny, people will still laugh because he's attractive. It sounds weird, but people will laugh because he's attractive, and they want to be like, people want to be around attractive people because it displays like status and like cool stuff. But Jeffrey can say a joke, and honestly no one will laugh, even if the joke was funnier than Adonis's, simply because Jeffrey is unattractive. And so this is why, like, sometimes ugly people compensate, basically like make up for their ugliness by trying to be funny. That's kind of why. So now that we got over all of the theory, I'm gonna tell you what I did to actually get this aesthetic physique, because now we've understood the benefits. We want to build a V-taper. Now a V-taper is when your upper body goes inwards like this. So like it goes in like this. Like, I'll probably put a picture on screen. Basically, that's what we want to get, because that is the thing that will activate the halo effect, and the halo effect is kind of like the cheat code I mentioned at the start of the video. One analogy I like to use to get this into the mind of guys is that the V-taper in a man is kind of like the hourglass shape in a woman. So when a woman is built like kind of like an hourglass, it immediately, to like heterosexual guys, it's just attractive. At first glance, it's just attractive. In a V-taper in a man has the same effect on women, and it activates that halo effect, and that's basically the cheat code. So we get the V-taper by training the 6 aesthetic muscles, which is the neck, the upper traps, which is kind of like this area, the upper chest, the lateral delt, which is kind of like the side shoulder. So see how mine's kind of got a curve. We build that, and the lats, which is basically just your back, and then the abs. So I'll say that again: neck, upper traps, upper chest, lateral delts, lats, and abs. If you prioritize those 6 muscles, you will build a V-taper, which will unlock the secret cheat code, which is the halo effect. So for the neck, you can do neck curls. For the upper traps, you can do shrugs. For the upper chest, you can do incline dumbbell press or incline bench press. For lateral delts, do lateral raises. For lats, you can do rows, lat pull downs, pull-ups, a lot of stuff. And for abs, I say you do the lying leg raise. If you want a full in-depth guide from me on how to build this aesthetic body, I've got a complete course. The link is in the description, which you can go and click right now. My mission is to help young men build their aesthetic body because it changed my life forever, and I think it'll do the same for a lot of young men. So I want you to just close your eyes for a second and imagine that you build your 10 out of 10 aesthetic physique and you look in the mirror and you think you're massive and everyone else thinks you're massive. You got your friends asking for your workout routines and like the cheat codes and how did you do it. You've been helping your parents get in shape as well. And you've also helped your wife get in shape. And then you've both helped your children get in shape too, and you've built like just a family of absolute units. And when the children have went to sleep, your wife looks at your physique and then she looks down at your abs and then looks back to you. That's the type of life I imagined when I first wanted to build this aesthetic physique, and it helped me keep going. And I think it would serve you to keep that vision in mind as well. And so if you want to achieve that vision, subscribe right now. Safe.